Hello, my name is Brian Lambert, and I want to talk to you about overcoming the challenges of sales development and performance. First, before I get started, ask yourself, what is sales development to you? What does it mean? What does it mean to develop sales? I'm talking, does that mean developing salespeople to you? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Or is it developing a sales organization? To me, it's both. Sales development requires a holistic approach to developing salespeople and a holistic approach to developing sales organizations. So that's sales development. So sales development and performance is very broad, but that's what I want to talk to you about because I don't think there's a lot of people actually thinking at a very holistic level, but they're feeling it. They're feeling issues in turnover, they're feeling issues with a lack of achievement of the numbers, they're feeling issues in other areas, whether it's the bridging the gap between sales and marketing, or bridging the gap between sales and training, etc. So a holistic approach, let's look at sales performance and sales development with that view, shall we? First, we're seeing a dramatic increase for the need for one-on-one coaching by salespeople and sales managers. This might be something you're seeing in your organization, but the need and the request for one-on-one training, where does that come from? Oh, is it because, salespeople just don't like to go to training anymore and they're so hard to train and they're all prima donnas? No, one-on-one training, if you think about it from a pure sense, a lot of on-the-job training happens there, and a lot of the contextual components of sales happen in the field. For that. Okay, some of the other challenges that we've seen, an increased burden on sales managers. If you're a sales manager, you're saying, I know that, I've seen it, I feel it, and I feel your pain as well. You're asked to train more, you're asked to actually go out and close deals most of the time. Some of you actually have a quota, and you've actually increased the burden of administrative work over the last 5 to 10 years with the advent of CRM and the complexity of the products, the complexity of the negotiation, the contacts, the actual contracts themselves. Everything has dramatically increased over the last 5 to 10 years because of Sarbanes-Oxley, because of legal requirements, because of the international law, maybe if you sell internationally or overseas, etc. And all that's happened while the actual products and services themselves have actually increased in complexity. So sales managers, you've got to sell, you've got to be an administrator, you've got to be a manager, you have to be a coach now because you have to coach one-on-one, and you've got to be very good at what you do. That's an increased burden. If you're in a sales management role, you've seen that. Marketing folks, your sales managers probably are a little flustered in what they're asked to do. So the actual approach then requires a more holistic stance and a more holistic view. What else are we seeing? Well, I'm also seeing, I don't know if you're feeling it or not, but there's a huge worldwide shortage on sales talent. Okay? The ability to hire new salespeople is extremely tough these days. Why is that? Think about it. There's not a lot of organizations creating net new salespeople. That means everybody wants to hire for skill. Well, who's creating the skill in the first place? Back in the 80s, late 80s, a lot of the corporate training universities from Xerox or IBM or the other big companies, they used to last six months. Now everybody's on-ramping training takes about a week. So you have a lot of skills gap, especially at the entry level. We're also seeing a lack we're actually seeing an actually increase in a short-term focus. It's firefighting. We're seeing a lot of firefighting out there. If you're in a management role, you're putting out the fires all the time, you got your head down, you're doing things. That's because you're in a crisis mode and you're in damage control perhaps. It's hard to, even if you're not in a damage control mode or a firefighting mode, it's just, you've got to admit it's probably hard to keep a long-term focus outside the scope of a quarter, okay? So who's doing that in your organization? So these are some serious challenges here that we've seen. All of it equates to lack of a holistic approach, okay? And a holistic approach in sales development and performance, think about it. What does that mean to you? Does that mean in more technology? Does that mean more products? Does that mean more salespeople? No, I'm talking about what is sales development and performance. What are the challenges in that, which I've just mentioned 5 of them. I've mentioned more need for one-on-one coaching, more increased burden on sales managers, I've increased more talent shortages out there, there's a talent shortage out there, a lack of a holistic approach, and a short-term focus. Those are some major challenges to sales development and performance, but what are some of the proactive things you can do? So I look forward to seeing you at my presentation. Take care.